I'm Isabella Bender, and this is my GLP Interaction 2. I took my partner to the MSU football game. It was his first football game ever, so it was really exciting for him to see how that went. So during halftime, we were talking when it was kind of quieter, and I was asking him about all the questions that we have to ask. So the difference between our educations is his parents weren't really involved in his education, meaning they never really asked how his grades were or how while he was doing in school. They really didn't care that they kind of felt that that was up to John and his teachers. Um, John didn't have any siblings, so his parents can't compare really anyone to him because he's the only kid. So his parenting style is kind of just based on how his parents think that they should parent. And that's how most of the kids were there. They just push them to be the best person that they can be and to do what they can. And at the end of the day, it all that matters is you're a good person. Um, Adults motivate them all the time by talking about their future. We were talking about in what ways we get motivated in school, and he says the parents do a lot of motivating, but the teachers are also motivators. But I feel like that's different because in my culture where I went to high school, it was all based on me and my parents. I had to have the motivation. Like my parents would persuade me to have the motivation, but only I could actually put it forward. And my teachers didn't really care. I had a lot of teachers that didn't um, care about what they were teaching, and they were really bad, and it wasn't fun because there was no electricity when they were teaching. But unlike John's teachers were always eccentric, and they were always making it fun and interesting so that they were willing to learn. But what's really cool about that, so we were also talking about our cultures, and so the difference in our cultures. So John went to an international school, so there was a lot of other kids that were different cultures. So the teachers there were very capable in adapting to the other types of children that were at the school. They always did culture day where they would bring in food from their country and a flag and the activities. They would always share diversity day. Um, I wish that we did that when I was growing up. We never really did that. We always just accepted everybody no matter what their race was, even though people were different and they did come from different places. And I wish that we would have done that. So reflecting back on that, what I learned from this was I wish I was exposed to more cultures and more diverse people because John was, and now he comes in with a complete different understanding about school and life and how his parents persuaded him and how they didn't have an interest in his grades, but my parents did. They were always interested. They always wanted to know how I was doing, always wanted to make sure I was doing well, and so it's just different about how we were grown up, and that's I wish that we would have had diversity day and I would have learned about other cultures, especially coming to a college that's so different. That would have been really cool. But I learned a lot from John, and I think we had a really good interaction. He taught me a lot about myself and how I think that now I need to branch out and learn more about other people because I have grown up in a environment where our culture was just one culture, not many. So I think that's really interesting, and I'm excited to reflect more in my final paper about John and what he's taught me.